Whether you think it's fair or not, there's something that causes people to judge you instantly based on your level of attractiveness. I mean your entire whole character simply based on your level of attractiveness. This is a phenomenon known as the halo effect. And the halo effect basically means, in principle, if you have one positive trait that is really, really good, everyone will associate other traits of yours with being positive. So for example, if you are a very attractive person, people will also think you're smart, kind, generous, charismatic, stuff like that, right? This should not be the case. We should judge everyone by their individual traits and not just based on one positive trait. But oftentimes, this is simply the case. This is what we learned throughout history, is that if someone is very talented at one thing, such as being intellectual or strong or smart, they were normally like a better person overall, right? It kind of makes sense whether you think it's fair or not. This kind of makes sense. If someone was strong, very, very strong and in shape and attractive, it normally meant they were healthy and they probably had good character, they were disciplined, they were a strong, mature person, they were likely social, they likely had a lot of friends, right? Because they were attractive and people wanted to be around them and stuff like this. So it's not fair per se, but life isn't fair. When I was really young, I was a very smart kid. I was fun. I had a nice personality, stuff like this. But I was rather skinny and unattractive. I can put a picture up on screen. I don't have any good pictures like before I started lifting. The picture I put on screen is actually 6 months, into lifting. So even that is not a good representation of what I was like. But basically I looked really skinny and kind of anorexic, right? Not as a young man should. And I would never get a whole lot of respect from the people around me, from people that were in my school or even my friend group, right? They would kind of shun and ignore me and forget to invite me to things and stuff like this. I got better grades than most of them. I was smart. I was very disciplined with my homework and whatever, right? I had a fairly good personality. I would say I was overly nice, and so I was kind of a pushover back then. I was definitely like weak in character, I suppose. But when I started to take weightlifting seriously and I became more attractive, I noticed that respect from other people came in far easier. I set a good first impression, and then people seemed to recognize my other traits better. They'd be like, oh wow, you're so, you're very social, you're very confident, you're very intellectual, you're very smart, stuff like that, right? And of course, I did have to develop some of those along the way, right? But normally people would just naturally assume that I was smart, typically kind person. This is what people will assume about me nowadays. Not to be like arrogant. I know that sounds arrogant, but like I want the same thing for you. Like genuinely, I want the same thing for you. So I'm going to try to explain this phenomenon because I'm pretty attractive in the gym. When I go to the gym and I meet people, they typically associate with me with being pretty smart, social, and confident. I think those are the big three. Without me necessarily showing or proving to them that I am smart or confident or social, they just kind of like naturally assume that. I want that for you because there's nothing that you can do better for yourself to boost your experience in life than setting a good first impression. There's absolutely nothing. I want that for you. You need to leverage this. I'm going to teach you how, okay? So if you were like me and you're skinny and unattractive or you're not where you want to be, right? We're going to, by the way, this works for like other things, but we're going to improve attractiveness because that's like honestly like the most useful trait that you can possibly improve within yourself. And I know that seems superficial and shallow, but like attractiveness and strength is extremely important, especially for men. The way that we do this is not necessarily focusing on overall attractiveness. When I was really young, I used to think that attractiveness meant a lot of things for a man, right? Because attractiveness in general means a lot of things. It means facial attractiveness, right? So how good does your face look? How good is your jawline and your skin, right? How like skin health, right? How does your hair look? What clothes do you wear, right? What fashion do you have? It can mean like if you get like really into it and you go into looks maxing, it can mean a lot of shit, like the specific angle of your eyes and shit like that. I don't get into all that. The reason is most of that stuff is useless and retarded for men, okay? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that will become obvious. It'll seem obvious to you once I've said it, but you probably don't know. The pretty look is attractive to the masculine, not necessarily to the feminine. Okay? We men, if you got kind of a masculine nature, right? We like pretty things. We like pretty girls, we like pretty, we're attracted to like feminine, obviously. That's pretty straightforward, right? Women, not so much. Women are more attracted to sort of masculine traits, which don't mean a pretty face. Pretty face, like kind of like the model face, that's great. You'll probably attract like some bisexual girls or like some I don't know, like girls with fucked up hormones or shit like that, right? Like kind of like masculine girls, which is fine if that's the kind of person you want to date. I'm not like trying to throw shade at anyone. I'm just speaking like to my younger self. I'm trying to speak to myself and to my younger self because I'm hoping that'll be who this video resonates with, right? We don't want to focus on that because that's not necessarily it's not necessarily the trait that's most attractive to the girl that we want to attract, right? On that note, not just girls, right? It's so interesting when you focus on the pretty look, right? Like the pretty boy look, the cute boy look, right? Like the TikTok boy look. That's not only not attractive that much to like pretty girls. Like they'll kind of like it because they're interested in makeup and like facial attractiveness and shit like that. So they'll say it's pretty. They'll say it's like, attractive for them, but they're not necessarily attracted to that like biologically, right? It's not that respectable from men either, unless the man is like interested in looks maxing himself, like getting the pretty look himself, and thus he like sees that as a goal he wants to attain. If we're being honest, it looks weird. Like it's not, it doesn't draw respect. Perhaps like a jawline, I think that's important. Other than that, like that's not really the look we want to go for. There's this principle throughout life called the Pareto principle, and the Pareto principle is throughout everything. This is a common theme. 20% of the actions lead to 80% of the results. I would say that is an 80% action, which means it has very low effect on your attractiveness and it adds a lot of work, right? So 80% of the actions contribute to 20% of the results, which means those 80% actions can honestly be cut out and cut down on, and you need to focus on the 20% actions. I don't think it's that respectable, and I don't think it's that attractive to like feminine girls. Anyways, out of that rant, we're going to improve not the pretty look. We're not going to get the pretty look. We're not going to really focus on facial attractiveness. We're not going to focus on fashion because fashion is another one of those, right? Fashion is kind of superficial. It's like the clothes you put on, the look you kind of wear. The thing is, the man makes the clothes, if we're being honest. I look good in nearly anything simply because I have like a decent physique. Like I've got somewhat of a V-taper, and so I look fairly good in whatever. I actually wore the same clothes like forever. I've got like a red flannel there on my chair, and a lot of like my old hoodies and my kind of same jackets. I outgrew the rest of my clothes, but I sort of wore the same like outside style. They didn't look good on me back then. Now they look fucking phenomenal on me because I've got a V-taper. Again, not to sound arrogant, but like I want this shit for you too. Like that's what I want for you. And so we're not going to focus on fashion. We are going to focus on an aesthetic body transformation. That's what we need to focus on. If you want the halo effect to apply to you, if you want people to, when they see you, they immediately think, okay, this guy's a fucking G. He's smart as fuck. He's probably dominant in his like endeavors, right? Like his ventures. He's probably like aggressive. He's a winner, right? He's social. He's confident as fuck. If you want people to think that and associate that with you immediately, which you should, then what we have to do is focus on getting an aesthetic body, right? This is the biggest, this is one of those 20% actions that will lead to 80% of the results, I swear to God. Get an aesthetic physique. The respect from others will follow. Like the respect that honestly like you should deserve as a human being, will follow once you build an aesthetic physique and you leverage this halo effect, right? That like the likability that you wish you had, the social life that you wish you had, can follow once you build an aesthetic physique, right? At least like the decency to, the human decency that people will offer you, right? Because a lot of times when I was younger and I didn't have an attractive physique and I looked kind of like weak and skinny and anorexic, I didn't get like fucking a chance to be liked. I didn't get that. Yeah, sure, I was funny sometimes. I told some funny jokes, and sometimes I was somewhat like social at certain events when they were more like loosened up and stuff. And sometimes I had some good conversations with them and whatever. But it was like, there was always this underlying current of, yeah, you're not quite enough. Like, we don't really want to associate with you because we think you're a loser. That's kind of that's what we think of you. It's fucked up. It honestly is. It's kind of fucked up. But again, I said, whether you think it's fair or not, it's not. This is the case. This is the game we're playing. And if we have to play the game, we might as well fucking win. We might as well win. Okay? So what you have to do is undergo an aesthetic body transformation. Transform your body. Go through an arc where you end up unrecognizable. I'm going to give you a very simple version right here that I know is effective, right? I can't go into detail. If you want to learn more, you should subscribe to this channel because this is like all I talk about is how to build an aesthetic physique. Basically, to get you started, look up a push-pull leg routine, okay? Which is basically, the pushing muscles are chest, triceps, which is the back of the arm, and the shoulders. You're going to do that day 1. Day 2, you're going to do the pull muscles, which are the biceps, front of the upper arm, and the back. And then day 3, you're going to do legs, right? Fairly straightforward routine. Most people follow this. Look up one of those to follow. Get a gym membership if you don't already. If you really can, if you're like, oh, I'm not going to get a gym membership, do calisthenics at home. It's very simple. There's no excuse for you not to start. You can start in your bedroom every single morning. You can do some push-ups and some like other exercises, some dips and whatever, right? Start somewhere. And basically just continue doing push-pull legs forever. Just continue to do that. Be consistent. Make it easy for yourself to show up and check off that I went to the gym today checkbox. So like, even if you feel unmotivated, try to remind yourself what you want. You want an aesthetic body. You want to literally transform your life and people's impression of you, right? I literally can't tell you the ROI, that stands for return on investment. It's a business term. I cannot tell you the return on investment that this has given me. It's given me an insanely like different life. I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have it. I want that for you. I'm literally like, I wish I could just give this to you. I wish I could give this experience to you because it's so beautiful. But the sad and also kind of beautiful part is you have to earn it, okay? So yeah, that's like the mini course. If lifting is fairly straightforward, just do push-pull legs. You'll do a push day, pull day, leg day, and then a rest day. And then after your rest day, you continue and you do the push-pull legs again. Fairly straightforward, just keep doing that every single day to learn more, to like learn the intricacies of how to be consistent, because there's like a system to that. If you want to learn how to be disciplined, if you want to learn how to, work out better, then this channel is for you. You should subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. I win because I get a new subscriber. You win because it's about new insight, or I learn something new, or I try something new. I can make a video and directly give you value. So yeah, you should probably do that. I don't think I have any other notes except like, the light at the end of the tunnel is fucking phenomenal. And you probably try and notice this as well. This is an actionable step. After this video, think about other people in your life that you sort of look up to or that are attractive. And ask yourself, like, do I associate their appearance with different traits about them? Do I associate it with their confidence, with their social skills, with their intelligence, right? With their leadership ability? Do I associate it with that? Do I associate it with their discipline? I can guarantee that what you realize is, oh yeah, shit, like I do think more highly of them. I think they're more mature and like a better person. They have better character simply because they look better. Once you realize that, the goal becomes clear. Build an aesthetic body. Thank you so much for watching. Go subscribe. Bye.